What's up, everyone? Ready for a cultural trip? Let's say, off the beaten path? Today, we're exploring a place most people actively try to avoid, a South Korean prison. Forget the sugary K-dramas with their heart-fluttering romances and the dazzling, perfectly synchronized K-pop groups for a hot minute, because we're diving into a world most people don't get to see. If you're planning a trip to Korea, consider this essential viewing, unless you're aiming for a first-hand experience. Laughs. Just kidding, mostly. But seriously, what actually goes down in the first 24 hours behind bars in Korea? Get ready for some surprising facts, a few bizarre tidbits, and maybe even a lesson or two about the Korean prison system. Buckle up, Buttercup, because this ride is going to be interesting. Just a heads up, no helicopter escapes like Suicide Squad here, but I promise a solid dose of information. Before we jump into the deep end, a little context is in order. South Korea has a significantly lower incarceration rate than the United States. We're not comparing apples to oranges, but it's an important point to keep in mind. So, don't expect scenes straight out of Oz, all gritty and intense, or the dramatic female dynamics of Orange is the New Black. The Korean system has its own unique quirks. Think of this as a National Geographic documentary, but with a healthy splash of dry humor. And of course, this video isn't legal advice. It's more like a cultural exploration with a side of real information and a whole lot of jokes. Don't sue me, lawyers. Picture this. You've just been arrested, maybe for jaywalking while desperately trying to snag a glimpse of your favorite K-pop idol. It happens, no judgment. The first few hours are a whirlwind, a beautifully chaotic mess. The intake process is pretty universal. Fingerprints, mugshots, that model moment nobody asked for, like America's Next Top Inmate audition. And the soul-crushing moment you trade your stylish street clothes for, well, let's just say the prison uniform isn't exactly haute couture. Think extreme makeover. Prison edition, but the after isn't exactly magazine-worthy. Then comes the cell. Unlike American movies where everyone gets their own private cell, like a really minimalist hotel room. Think the movie room but with less furniture. In Korea, cells are usually shared. It's like reliving your college dorm days, but with significantly fewer band posters and a whole lot more concrete. And who are your charming cellmates? That's the luck of the draw. You might get lucky and find someone who's just as obsessed with K-dramas as you are, and you can binge crash landing on you together, or you might end up with someone who snores louder than a jet engine taking off. Not to mention the infamous prison Ajumma, the older woman who knows everything and runs the show. She's like the Red of Orange is the New Black, but with a serious kimchi addiction and a knack for sniffing out contraband cell phones. And the food? Oh, the food? Forget those mouth-watering Korean barbecue feasts you see in restaurants. Prison cuisine is functional. Rice, soup, a few sad-looking side dishes. Don't expect anything Michelin star rated. It's more like a prison version of Chopped, where the ingredients are severely limited and the chef's creativity, well, let's just say it's also on a strict diet. If you're a vegetarian, my condolences. Now, let's dive into some facts you won't find on any tourist brochures. Did you know that many inmates in Korea participate in work programs? From manufacturing to agriculture, they have the opportunity to stay busy and learn new skills, which is a plus for reintegration into society. But important note, we're not romanticizing prison labor here. It's not like a fun episode of Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe, but behind bars. Another interesting tidbit. The rules regarding communication with the outside world are pretty strict. Limited visits. Heavily censored letters. Forget about live tweeting your prison experience. It's more like a forced social media detox, like Naked and Afraid, but hopefully without the naked part. And speaking of rehabilitation, Korean prisons also offer a range of educational and vocational training programs. The goal is to give inmates a second chance when they're released. It's kind of like Extreme Makeover, Career Edition. But the cold, hard truth is that the Korean prison system, like any other, has seen its share of public figures and celebrities doing time. This brings up an interesting point. The law doesn't care if you're a household name. For instance, you've probably heard about scandals rocking the K-pop world. Sadly, the industry, despite all its glitz and glamour, isn't immune to legal troubles. Some prominent figures have found themselves embroiled in controversies, leading to lawsuits and even convictions. One particularly high-profile case involved Jung Jun-young and Choi Jong-hoon. They were convicted of serious sex crimes, including gang rape and the illegal filming and distribution of sexually explicit material. This scandal sent shockwaves through the Korean entertainment scene and sparked vital conversations about the pervasive culture of harassment and sexual violence. It's crucial to emphasize that these cases are the exception, not the rule. The vast majority of Korean artists are hard-working professionals who abide by the law. But these examples serve as a stark reminder that no one is above the law, regardless of their fame, fortune, or social media following. And that, just like anywhere else in the world, the Korean legal system aims to hold those who break the law accountable. Other, less severe cases have also made headlines. Some entertainers have been caught using illicit drugs, which also resulted in legal consequences, including, in some cases, jail time or probation. Including these examples underscores a key message. The Korean prison system, despite its unique characteristics, operates within a strict legal framework that strives for justice. And that fame doesn't grant you a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's a sobering reflection on personal responsibility, the devastating consequences of our actions, and the fundamental importance of respecting the law, no matter who you are. Now, let's lighten the mood a bit with some humorous comparisons. You know those classic American prison movies, where there's always that one tough guy who runs the show? Like V from Oz, or the menacing leader of the Aryan Brotherhood in American History X. In Korea, the power dynamics are a bit different. There's a stronger emphasis on harmony and respecting the established hierarchy, kind of like a toned-down version of Game of Thrones, but without, most of the time, the bloody battles and dramatic betrayals. Don't expect dramatic cafeteria brawls or high-stakes underground boxing matches. Things are a little more organized. And unlike in Hollywood blockbusters where prisoners escape by meticulously digging tunnels with spoons, hasn't everyone seen Prison Break or The Shawshank Redemption? Korean prisons are generally pretty secure. Your best bet for getting out is actually serving your time. One slightly quirky fact. Some older prisons still use the traditional Korean floor heating system, ondol. So, at least you'll have toasty warm feet while contemplating the life choices that landed you there. It's like a forced spa day with some serious self-reflection. Laughs. At least you won't freeze to death like the poor souls in Fargo. So, there you have it. A quick but hopefully insightful glimpse into the Korean prison system. Hopefully. It's an experience you'll only ever have through this video. The moral of the story? Stay on the right side of the law. Korea is an amazing country with a rich culture and incredible things to offer, and it's definitely not worth risking it all for a, let's just say, less than ideal vacation. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more cultural explorations, and share it with your friends. And let us know in the comments what other aspects of Korean culture you'd like us to delve into. Thanks for watching, and until next time. And remember, if you ever do find yourself in a Korean prison, just tell them you learned everything from this video. Who knows, it might just get you a slightly warmer blanket.